What's going on, Coach Marcus Pro Fan Talk? We had a phenomenal game tonight. Dallas at Indiana. Paige Bueckers, Caitlin Clark going at it. Kelsey Mitchell continuing her streak with 20 plus points in a game. And let me be honest with you, Caitlin Clark could have been a little bit better. Her threes wasn't falling. She ended up like 2 of 10. But she had a great game passing the ball. She had a double-double. And she was getting it in. You see, I finally got my shot chart done. So it was a great game tonight. It was a great game. Both of them put on the show. Indiana had the better team tonight. Indiana, their X factor was Tyasha Harris. Role players come off the bench and they go above and beyond. And that was the difference. That was the difference in this game tonight, because you had everybody kind of chipping in, but you had the regulars. Kelsey Mitchell had 23 points, but Kelsey Mitchell didn't even shoot well tonight because she was 1 for 7 from deep. She was 9 of 21 from the floor, so she did not have a good night shooting, and she really didn't even get to the free throw line. 4 or 5, but she kept on plugging away. And eventually she hit 1 3-pointer. But 9 out of 21, not a great day. Caitlin Clark, 11 of 18. She was good on the floor. 10 assists, 3 rebounds, a steal, and only 1 turnover in the game. That is phenomenal for Caitlin Clark. The threes weren't falling. Nobody shot good tonight from deep. Nobody did. Both teams were just not good. Indiana was 9 of 24, and Dallas was 7 of 29. So it wasn't a really good night shooting the ball from deep. This was all mid-range and getting to the rack. And then you had the X factor, Tyasha Harris. Tyasha Harris coming off the bench, 16 minutes, 15 points, 5 of 5 from three-point land, 2 rebounds and a steal. But that 5 for 5 from deep, that's making the most of the opportunity you got. Sophie Cunningham was 1 for 3. Who else we got? Mo Billings. She didn't do much. She was 2 points. Maisha Hines-Allen, 2 points. Lexi Hull did not score again. She was 0 for 2. Didn't even take a 3-pointer. So, yeah, it was Kelsey Mitchell, Caitlin Clark, and Aaliyah Boston. Aaliyah Boston had a double-double, 16 and 10. Caitlin Clark, 29 and 10, and Kelsey Mitchell, 23, 2 and 2. So they are the ones that fill it up. But the X factor, like I said, was Tyasha Harris, 15 and 2. But you did not expect, when you averaging 4 points a game and you drop 15, that's a huge boost for your squad. That's a huge boost. Paige Bueckers on the other side, 29 points. Arike Gumbawale, 20 points. She was 20 and 6. Paige Bueckers, 26 and 6. Odyssey Sims continues to play well. 11 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. And then you got a little help from Cure. I think it's Cure. I got to figure out how to say her last name. The big tall girl. Only 8 points. 1 for 4 from deep. So she was regular. Smith was regular, 35 minutes, 8 points, 4 of 11 from the floor. No threes, 0 for 4. 7 rebounds, 2 assists. 1 steal, 1 block. So she filled up the stat sheet, but not enough. Alicia Clark, 4 points. Maddie Segrist, 5 points. Babyface Giroux played only 4 minutes and 2 points. Or no, she did not score. So Indiana's role players did a much better job. And it showed. So you've got 2 teams and you got 2 of the main stars going at it. And they were going shot for shot. And like I said, Caitlin Clark could have been better if her threes had been falling. If she hits 2 more threes, you know what? I would look at this as a great game, but she played really well. She did not play great. You gotta hit them threes to play great. She was 2 of 10, I think. 2 of 10 or 2 of 8. I just saw that. What was it? But she hit a couple late. She was 2 of 8, so it wasn't that bad. But you got to shoot a little bit better than that. But everybody was struggling. This was one of them nights where the shots just were not falling. The shots just were not falling. Um, and sometimes that's just the way that it goes. But now you got to look at the situation where it's hard to ignore Caitlin Clark being in the MVP category. In my opinion, both her and Kelsey Mitchell deserve to be there. Because Kelsey Mitchell with this streak, and there's been times, and the reason why I wouldn't put Caitlin Clark in there earlier was because her shooting was so inconsistent. Now, after the All-Star game, it's leveled out, and she has been much more consistent, and she's actually, or at least it seems like she's shooting a little bit less, but being more efficient with her shots. And she's getting more mid-range shots and dropping them in the bucket. That's the most important thing. So I think the 3-point shots, we'll see how that's going to do. You want that to be trending in the right direction when the playoffs hit. They only got like 10 games left. And then you looking at where you seated in the playoffs, you will get home court advantage and all that type of stuff. That kind of stuff starts to matter now because you go kind of going into the home stretch. You kind of going into the home stretch and you want to be ready. The most important thing is to be healthy. That's the most important thing going into the playoffs. So if they can hang around for 10 more games, keep everybody healthy, and, you know, everything doesn't have to be on Kelsey Mitchell. So, hopefully we're not going to have that same problem like we had last year. Because I'll say it again, they should have beat Las Vegas in the playoffs, and they should have gone to the finals and beat Phoenix. That would have happened. Kelsey Mitchell was on another level, and she's doing it again this year. She's definitely doing it again this year. So they play better in tandem. Sometimes Caitlin is on, Kelsey's off. Most of the time this year, it's been Kelsey's on when Caitlin was off. So you can kind of feed off each other. And then that would allow the other to be just regular. But Caitlin has been the one, she's had a couple of regular games in the past. Not many, but also you in a situation where Kelsey Mitchell is picking up the slack big time. 20, 30, 40 points. Yeah, Kelsey Mitchell is that one. So I don't think, I'll take that back. She did not do 40 points. Getting a little bit overzealous on that one, but you understand what I'm saying. They have to play in tandem and they have to kind of be on the same page. Kelsey Mitchell probably should have had 28, close to 30 points, but she missed a couple of layups. She got blocked a couple times, and her shot just was not falling. But what do I always say? Everybody get a turn. And she did not shoot the best tonight, but guess what? She on a downslope, which means she got to come back up. Same thing everybody was talking about Caitlin Clark. She was on the struggle bus coming off the restricted minutes and all that kind of stuff. And she was up and down. And then after she had that down, after the All-Star break, she started coming right back up, and she hasn't stopped. So now it's just about evening out and getting your team ready to play. So when the playoffs finally get here, the team is in sync. Everybody knows what they're supposed to be doing, and you're ready to go. Stephanie White, she may have dodged the bullet and got a blessing in disguise because after all of this stuff, after the Dejanay Carrington hit on Sophie, she made some big time errors in how you talk to your team and how do you talk about others, especially in the way the situation was going. It just wasn't a good look for Stephanie White. And that could have that could have gone bad. That could have gone very bad. But it's a good thing they got good players and good vets and good personalities on that squad. Caitlin Clark nipped it in the bud. Kelsey Mitchell co-signed, nipped it in the bud. And everybody's good. And while everybody that wants to put out content about who's snakes and who's disingenuous and all that kind of stuff, because Aaliyah Boston said Kelsey Mitchell is the MVP, and everybody, panties is in the bunch because they didn't say Caitlin Clark. Guess what? That's okay. That's okay because it's going to play itself out one way or the other. That's just the way things like that go. So people can, get thin skinned and all that kind of stuff. It is what it is. They got to play in tandem. I don't give a damn about the regular season award. I want them to make it in the playoffs, get home court advantage, and get to the finals. That's what I want Indiana to do. So they can keep the awards. I want the trophy. I want the chip. Like a lot of people, they get that mixed up. They want Caitlin Clark everything, but like I don't care. As long as they get to the playoffs, once they get to the playoffs, then we can wipe all this regular season nonsense out the way because it don't matter. Regular season is irrelevant. All of these records that's being set, all of that kind of mess, it is irrelevant because now it is only about getting to the playoffs and going deep into the playoffs. That is what it's all about. Point period in the paragraph. All these other records, he's the first one to score 60 points and 250 assists. And it's like, oh my God, they making up all of these combinations for records. And like, who worried about this stuff 5 or 6 years ago? Were they quoting stats like this back then? First person with 200 3-pointers and took 200 steps on the, on the treadmill. It's like, where is this stuff coming from? It's like they pick some random number sometimes. Like, whoever thought about that combination? And like, does it matter? At this point, it really doesn't, because we coming through the home stretch. You got about 10 or so games left, and everybody's making a run because there are no dominant teams in the WNBA right now. It's not Las Vegas. It's not Minnesota. Minnesota is the best team, but I don't think they're dominant. They're the closest thing you're going to get, really, especially with feet coming back. But anybody can get got. Anybody can get got. So that's going to leave the parity wide open. And it's going to come down to who can take advantage of it, who can stay healthy, and who can get their team to play best in crucial moments. That's what it's going to come down to. So I'm hoping that Caitlin Clark continues to ascend. She is now playing true MVP type ball. She wasn't doing that before. She's definitely doing that now. And so is Kelsey Mitchell. Do not get it twisted. Because a lot of these games, if Kelsey wasn't dropping 20 plus points, we would probably be losing. So they have to work in tandem. They have to work together. And it seems like the only people that don't have a problem with it is them. They know what they're doing. They speak up for their coach. They speak up for each other. And I've said this before, Kelsey Mitchell just needs to be the example of how you speak to the media. Because it seems like can't nobody else figure it the hell out. They got a good media training up at Ohio State, and that's the way it should be. So I think Indiana Fever are in a good situation. All they got to do, in my opinion, is stay healthy. Stay healthy to get to the playoffs. Once you get to the playoffs, everybody's slate is wiped clean. And it's from there going forward. So we'll see what's going to happen with that. Peace.